Alright, tail of the tape. Jake Paul, 24 years old. Tyron Woodley, 39, 40 years old. Jake Paul is 3-0 as a professional boxer, but has not fought a professional boxer, which is cool. You know, it's still three boxing matches to Tyron Woodley, 0 boxing matches. Tyron Woodley is 19-7-1 as a mixed martial artist. He has 6 wins by TKO knockout, which is 3 more than Jake Paul. You know, standing up, little gloves. You know, Jake Paul's reach is 76-inch reach. Tyron Woodley's 74, so the reach is 2 inch, give or take. You know, not much of a difference, you know, given their experience in just boxing alone. You know, Jake Paul 6'1", 6'2", Tyron Woodley 5'9", so there's a pretty good discrepancy in the height. And Jake Paul's the naturally bigger dude, big body, big head. You know, I think that it'll be difficult for Tyron Woodley to knock him out with the, you know, the giant-sized dome that he has. I think, in my opinion, if I was to break it down, and try to break it down the best that I can, I'm a little new at this. I would say that, you know, Woodley is not an aggressive fighter. He holds the record in the UFC for the least amount of strikes thrown in a UFC title match. Which, you know, he played good defense. So people think that Woodley might get knocked out early by Jake Paul, and I don't see that happening. I really don't. I think Woodley has too much experience at avoiding, you know, taking a lot of necessary damage, which makes kind of for a boring fight, but a smart game plan. Jake Paul doesn't have a lot of experience in, you know, going the distance like Tyron Woodley does. You know, going, you know, which I mean, 3 dominating wins is pretty good. So I mean, that's a hats off to him. But I don't think he has the, you know, the experience to really, you know, this. I think this is going to test him. You know, if it goes, let's see what he's got. But anyways, I think Woodley, you know, once again is getting counted out. You know, billed as a wrestler, when in fact that most of the last, you know, 10, 11 fights that he's had, you know, the majority of the fight was standing up, you know, moving, looking for counters. But you know, Woodley has a decent countering ability. You know, he's defended the belt in the UFC 4 times, which is pretty impressive. And I just think that anything can happen in a fight. And if I was to say the outcome, I'm going to call Tyron Woodley could win by maybe ref stoppage in the 6th round. A little late. People think that the longer the fight goes, the more advantage Jake Paul has, which I don't think so. Tyron Woodley is not aggressive, doesn't throw a lot of punches, you know, knows when to score, throw a big shot. He'll be able to move and watch and read Jake Paul. It's another thing. Tyron Woodley has a lot of experience watching and reading experienced strikers. I mean, even though this is boxing, he's fought some world-class kickboxers in the UFC, and he was able to watch and read what they're doing. And I mean, he'll be able to watch and read what Jake Paul's going to do. So, I mean, what it really comes down to is, you know, how bad does Woodley want this, if he's focused. I mean, I hope that he's focused, because this will probably be the last time he'll get a big money fight. This is probably the end of Woodley, even though he wants to continue in boxing. He'll never see a payday like this unless he wins by devastating fashion, you know, knocking Jake Paul out and then his mouthpiece coming out into the upper deck. You know, he will not get another big money fight. Jake Paul, on the other hand, win or lose, he's going to get paid. You know, he'll show up. He's going to be motivated. a lot to prove. Still got a chip on his shoulder. He could, if Woodley does not show up, it's going to be a rough night for him. I still think he'll pull it out, but he needs to be focused. So that's what I think. Anything could happen. Jake Paul, chip on his shoulder, going to come in, probably be a little aggressive. Woodley, probably doing a lot of moving, avoiding getting hit, and his head movement's probably not super. Jake Paul's head movement's not super, so probably a lot of back and forth, stall tactics, and then maybe later, he'll turn it up on him. Woodley will turn it up on Jake Paul to get a read on him first, and then go after him. So that's why I'm saying, it'll be late. I don't think Woodley can knock him out, and Jake Paul's got a big old head. And Tyron Woodley in the past has had some shoulder and hand issues, so if he lands a big shot, who knows? That could be, he could break his hand. He broke his hand in the Darren Till fight. Yeah, one big punch, and that was his hand. And Jake Paul is pretty healthy, big. So I think durability-wise, Jake Paul probably has the advantage. Tyron Woodley probably doesn't have to cut much weight for this fight, which is great. He'll be strong. He'll probably physically be stronger, even though he's a smaller guy. Even though he's 40 years old, his athletic credentials are quadruple Jake Paul's. So physical strength, I'll give to Tyron Woodley. Speed, probably about the same. Durability might go to Jake Paul. He might be able to take a little more than Woodley can. But what it comes down to is who wants it more. And I think Jake Paul wants it bad, and it's Tyron Woodley, needs to show up. 'Cause like I said, if he loses this fight, that's pretty much it in making money in his fight career. He might get some low-level boxing skills, but that will be pretty much the end of probably triple-digit paydays for fighting. He'll have to move on and find some other way, be working for ESPN or what. We're actually excited about this. We got tickets, so if any of you Ohio people have tickets to go see that, you might see this face sitting somewhere having a beer, trying not to embarrass my wife.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah, I will promise not to embarrass my wife, but I might get a little rowdy. Anyways, we're up to 17 subscribers. Thank you. Don't forget, share a chugging video. Chug whatever. If you're not a beer drinker, just share a video of you chugging. We got plenty more to come. We got more beer reviews coming up. More ghost hunting coming up. I just thought I'd try this and give this a go and give my opinion. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one. And I believe that's it. So here we go. Michelob Ultra, the official beer of half marathon runners, which I've been training for a half marathon. I'll be running in a half marathon in Dublin, Ohio, August 22nd. I've been training really, really hard and drinking less of these. But my objective is to cross the finish line on my feet and not my face.
How was that?